at work, I wear a lab coat with pockets. It protects my clothes from toxins. It has space for notes, prayer cards, a pen, and it reminds me that these are not regular times. Chaplains wear regular clothing, a lesson that I was taught repeatedly. This is so we're not confused for medical personnel. It builds trust. But things change. I'm getting used to things I didn't expect to ever feel okay with. Wearing scrubs to work, donning PPE and sterilizing it for reuse, and the enormous toll of walking around wrapped in plastic, seeing the world through plastic, holding a pen through plastic. It's awkward, disorienting, slow, and sweaty. It squeezes my nose and scratches my forehead. It's frightening what I can get used to.
It took a deadly virus, but in April 2020, the city moved people experiencing homelessness into hotels. Even under these unacceptable conditions, I experienced the beauty of the human spirit. One particular patient surprised me. "You gonna show me to my room or what?" I loved his Spanish accent. "¿De dónde es usted originalmente?" "I didn't come here for an interrogation." I couldn't blame him. In my uniform, I represented a system that had failed him. "Do you sing? You have an artistic soul." The next morning, there was a drawing taped to my station. "I knew you were an artist." He told me about his family and what he missed about Cuba. I told him I respected countries whose only condition for healthcare was having a pulse. Soon he referred to me as mi hija, my daughter. COVID-19 showcased our shortcomings like never before, but it also showed how resilient we can be.
I am afraid my elderly patient, who is separated from her family, will cry out for a nurse, but no one will hear her, and she won't remember how to call us. I'm afraid that when my patient passes away, I won't make it in time to say the prayer for the dead. His family requested it, since safety restrictions do not allow them to be by his side. I'm afraid that when I said goodbye to the patient I transferred to the ICU today, it was the last time I'll see him. I'm afraid he's not going to make it. I'm afraid because every day there are more and more admissions and more patients escalate from moderate to critical. I'm sometimes so physically exhausted, I'm afraid I'm going to miss a patient's abnormal vital signs or not have enough time to get to them if they need assistance. To be honest, I'm terrified, but I'm not letting my fears get the best of me.
In the first 50 days, I worked 35 12-hour shifts, added 3 new ERs to my roster, and I lost colleagues, friends, and my grandfather to COVID-19. I can still see them all too clearly. Patients who appeared well suddenly going into cardiac arrest. Patients who seemed to get better but died. I recall shifts in ERs built to fit 40 people, receiving up to 100. Hospitals getting fuller and fuller. Facing a clear inequity of personal protective equipment, we witnessed a social contract crumbling before us. We're reckoning with another crumbling social contract. Marginalized groups are enduring a crisis of inequity that started long before this pandemic. And yet they're met with fierce backlash from outside and from those within seeking to derail their movement. So please stay alive and relevant by reinforcing yourself from invisible enemies, whether it's a virus, the unjust status quo, or a few in the dark exploiting a cause. Because after surviving the first onslaught of COVID-19, I very well know that even staying alive is an act of defiance.